Welcome to another episode of Nigerian Infusion's Kitchen. Today is all about meat pie. I've got minced beef here. These are the ingredients I'll be going into the mince: pepper, stock cube, thyme, garlic granules, and potatoes. I avoid using carrots and peas and all those stuff in my meat pie because I like my meat pie to last very, very long. And when the clients order the meat pie, they want it to last extremely long by putting it in the fridge or in the freezer. So for that reason, I avoid things that will make the meat pie go very, very bad extremely quickly. I've also got flour here. I've got 1 kilogram of flour and 500 grams of butter. This is the butter I'm using. Is bought in Asda. If you live in the United Kingdom, you can find this butter in Asda. I'm also the flour here I'm using is self-raising flour. I love using self-raising flour. Self-raising flour is the only flour that I ever buy because it makes life extremely easy for me when I'm doing anything cakes, because we bake as well here at Nigerian Infusions. We bake, so self-raising flour works wonders in my kitchen. To go into the flour, I've got eggs here, 2 eggs. I've got water, cold water, 200 ml of water. We might not need all the water, but I will let you know how much water we need at some point. And to go into the flour, I've got a bit of allspice, pinch of salt, as well as some chili chili peppers. You can omit the crunch chili pepper, you can omit the allspice, replace it with nutmeg or cinnamon, or just leave it out, but you need the pinch of salt for balance to go into the flour. Let's get cracking. It is extremely important before we start the dough that we cook the mince first. So I start by putting the mince into a pot. I avoid using any oil because this mince I bought is 20% low fat. So we start by cooking the mince. You don't need to put you don't need to add any oil to the pan. Make sure you use a very good set of pan whenever you're cooking with thick base. This will go into the mince now. The pepper, the stock cube. I've got just about half a tablespoon of stock cube in there, 1 tablespoon of garlic granules, just a pinch of thyme, and quite a lot of pepper, just enough pepper. I'm a Yoruba girl, by the way, so I put that in. Because I want the potatoes and everything to cook together all at once, I'm going to add the potatoes all at once now with the water. You can add, what's it called? You can add, I'm going to add extra water inside. Otherwise, the potatoes won't cook. I added another half a cup of water, making a cup of water altogether. There are different methods for cooking this. You choose whichever works for you. But this is the method I like to use because I want everything to cook together at once. I don't want to start putting, when the mince is cooked and I start adding raw potatoes, I don't want that. The meat will become so strong. So for that reason, it's best to add everything together so they all cook all at once, if that makes sense. So what we're going to do now is just leave this to cook and everything comes together. While your the meat is cooked and you find that your mince is not thickened, then we can add a little bit of cornstarch, or you can add more flour into the mix. That would make it more thickened out. But sometimes it's not necessary, just so you know. So don't be forced to add this. If it's not necessary, just leave it out. The mince is cooking. What we do next is get on with our dough. And in the dough, remember, I've got pinch of salt, a little bit of allspice, as well as crushed chili peppers that will go into here. I'm using a oak mixer, a oak attachment in my mixer. We've got 2 eggs. It's important you put in the eggs before you add in the water. Very, very important. Eggs must go in before you add any water. Extremely, extremely important. Don't be tempted to put water first before you put the egg. Put that down and start slow. That's if I switched it on. So the idea is to incorporate that, and what I do as well is add the butter. I'm going to add the butter a little at a time. Remember, the butter, the egg goes in first before you add the water. If you are new to this, do it this way. Because I do this quite a lot, what I do is just add everything, the water and everything as well. But for the purpose of me telling you people, this is how you must do it. Start like this. It's important you start like this. Don't worry about flowers that are missing out. I could always put something around it, the gauge around there, but it makes it very inconvenient when you put it inside the mixer. So now I'm going to start adding the water. And what the water does is make it all come together. I'm only using 200 grams of water, 200 ml of water. All I'm going to do now is keep mixing until everything comes together. You can see it's starting to come together, so that's what we need to keep doing. I'm going to speed it up a bit. I'm now going to take the dough out of the mixer. Put that to one side. So here we have our dough. We need a little bit of flour on the table. Just press that on the table. What we do now is we're going to knead with our hand, because we want it to come really smooth. So you just keep kneading like this. You might be doing this for up to 10-15 minutes, but just do it because that's how you get a smooth consistency of dough. It's important that you don't go crazy adding too much flour on your table, otherwise that would just destroy the hard work that you've put in making the dough. Then you find out that your dough becomes really tough, or yeah, like tough and dry, because you've gone over the amount of quantity you're supposed to use. So you must follow the instruction and the recipe I've given you very, very, very adequately. Okay, you just keep kneading. I'm kneading this for now like 7 minutes, and it's slowly, gently coming together. It's like you're trusting. It's like when you're baking bread or pizza, you have to knead them properly. Unless you're making artisan's one that you just want it rough and fast. Otherwise, I could leave it in the mixer to continue mixing, but that would just mean I'm wasting energy. I've done this for about 15 minutes now, and what I'm gonna do is wrap it up. If you go back and look, you see that there's been a great change in the transformation of the dough. Everything has come together. Oh my god, I've got muscles now. So what you do is get your cling film and wrap it up. You're gonna wrap it up the weather is really cold here. So what I'm gonna do, rather than put it in the fridge, I'm just gonna set it in a cool place. I just leave it in a cool place for 45 to 1 hour. Then we'll start making our meat pie. Let's check on our mince. Here we have the mince. I told you guys I did not want to put any oil, because see what happens is that the mince comes with its own oil. That's why they said 20% less fat. Not fat. I'm just gonna squash that down. It's important that your dough, your mince is cooled down before it goes into your pastry. Very, very important. I get people ask, oh, I made meat pie, I'm a meat pie bust open. The reason it bust open is because you put hot mince inside the dough while it was still hot. So because the potatoes hasn't taken it as much as I would want to, I'm going to add a little bit of cornstarch into. Remember I said you can use, I'm just adding a tablespoon of cornstarch. That is more than enough, okay? And what you do is just stir it in. Don't go more than 1 spoon, please. It is important you don't go more than 1 tablespoon. Extremely important, otherwise it will become extremely thick. Remember, we're a catering company based in Battersea here in London. We do spices, cakes, as well as food, obviously. So head on to our website, nigerinfusions.com. Connect with us on Facebook, Niger Infusion, Instagram, Awesome Dishes, Twitter, Awesome Dishes, Snapchat, Awesome Dishes. Alright, so once that goes in, we leave it for like 1 minute and it's ready to cool down. Pour the mince into this bowl. If you're in a rush, place it in the fridge to cool down. But remember that you need to let your dough rest for about 45 minutes to 1 hour before you start putting anything inside to go into the oven. So be very, very don't be in a rush. Just allow everything works its own magic. So our mince is gonna cool down now and we'll move on to the next stage. Let's start it. These are the tools I'll be needing. I need a fork, I need a pizza cutter. If you haven't got pizza cutter, use a knife. You need a brush. I'm using milk as my wash. You can use egg if you want, or you can do half and half of egg and milk. I just like the look milk gives it rather than the look eggs give. Egg white or egg mix gives the pastry. Oh, you also need to line your baking tray as well, or add a bit of flour, dust the flour off so you can put your pastry in there. I've got my mince all cooled down. And another important thing is that your oven must be on at this point in time. Set the oven to 160 degrees centigrade, okay? That's about roughly about 4 gas mark or so. But Google is your best friend. Let's get cracking. I've got the dough. The great thing is if you don't finish your dough, you can place it in the freezer for up to 3 months or so. But try and use it up to before 3 months. I'm using very little flour so far when I was kneading, and right now I've used less than 1/4 cup of flour. So you need to be generous. You need to when I say generous, don't be over generous, but just generous with the mix. So you need rolling pin, very important. You can cut them into half to make life easier for you. But I'm just gonna roll these all at once. If you find that it is sticking to the table, then you can put a little bit more flour, but don't add too much flour all at the same time. I'm just gonna keep rolling. Just continue. What we're looking for is smooth. We're looking for smooth texture. A smooth texture, that's what we're all about. You can just do the wuru straight to the answer. If you know what that means. That means I can't be bothered. I just want to get it overdone with. The idea is to make sure your dough rests as much as possible, because you want it very, very, you see the way it's so drawy there. That's how elasticated. That's how we want it. You want good dough. You understand? You don't want stiff looking dough that is as stiff as let me not say. I don't even know what to say. But you want your dough to be good texture, to be good consistency as well. What I'm going to do now is flip to the other side. And we roll on this side again. Before you flip, just add a little bit of flour to the other side, okay? I'm not going to bother too much about this because this is going to be inside of the pastry, inside of the pie. Oh, sugar. You want to roll to a good consistent. Cut enough out. I'll take out the excess. We're going to roll this one again. Put that in a place. Take your mince. Remember, your mince must be very, very cold. Don't use hot mince inside cold pie, please. Otherwise, it's going to bust open. Choose a side to put it. Do not make your dough too thick as well. Make sure your dough is right amount. Because if it's too thick, it's just going to swell up like a buns. Remember, because I'm using self-raising flour, that's what's going to happen. But if you're using normal flour, then you should be fine. Okay. Right. Once I put it on, I'm going to get my milk. Put the milk all on the side. Around. Then what I do is take one side to the other side. Look at how smooth that is. I want it smooth. Take that as well. That one. So you see, should be very smooth. And you take your fork, press down to seal. Also remember to plunge 2 holes or some holes on the pie. That is very important. It is extremely important that you plunge your holes into the pie. Now we have the first batch. I'm gonna continue kneading this one. Remember, if you make too much, then you can always freeze in the freezer. Just make some and put in the freezer for the days that you need them. I'm going to continue rolling this because it's for a client. Our website is nigerinfusions.com, www.nigerinfusions.com. We're on Twitter, Awesome Dishes with extra S. On Instagram, Awesome Dishes, as well as Snapchat, Facebook, Niger Infusions. I'm going to keep rolling this. We're just going to, after rolling this, I will put everything in the oven. But once it's all done, what I'm going to do now is bake with the milk. Wash with the milk, basically. Bait, wash, and all of the above. You can use milk, you can use egg, you can mix the egg and the milk together. I just prefer to use milk because I love the look it gives the pie. To make the pie look like a boat, all you have to do is turn, depending on the angle you cover the pie in, that's the angle it will come out in. So if you're looking for something perfect, use the cutter or make sure they go in the same angle. But my client, they like it like this, coming in different shapes and sizes. They don't mind, and because they know it's made by hand, it's not it's about the taste, it's about how it looks. About the taste, about how smooth it looks, about how lovely it tastes. They don't mind what shape it comes in, as long as it's yummy, yummy, yummy. We go for yummy at nigerinfusions.com. And we go for precision as well. When the client asks, I want that's how we just do it for them. We don't go and start doing what we want for them. Once it's all covered in milk, It's gonna go in the oven now. Remember to preheat your oven to 150 or between 150 to 160 degrees centigrade. That is extremely important. Always preheat your oven. Never put hot filling into your pie. It will burst open because they need to be at the right temperature before they go in. We're gonna bake this for roughly 15 to 20 minutes now. Here we have the meat pie. I'm just gonna break one open for you guys to see what it looks like on the inside. Drum roll, please. Voila. This is how your pie should be. You shouldn't be forcing it to break, or it shouldn't crack. You know, it's not a break. It should be tender. It should be soft, lovely. You could see the line of pastry. This is how your pastry should come out for meat pie. It is not puff pastry. There are different types of pastry. This is proper pie pastry. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to subscribe. Visit our website nigerianinfusions.com for spices, for cakes, for food, and also we're on Instagram, Facebook, as well as Snapchat and Twitter. Awesome Dishes or Niger Infusions. Thank you very much for watching. See you on our next episode. Bye bye.